All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is my detective AJ. We're coming at you with Season 5, Episode 9, the Haarmann Boys. AJ's taking it old school, and he's going, surprisingly enough, to Germany, but not World War II.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
You didn't say to go
Find
to...
us on Instagram and Twitter at @PointSoPressure.
You cut me off.
Outro music.
Okay, and we're done.
Okay.
All right, so...
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
It's Monday.
How you been?
Good. You know, really good, honestly.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure you can tell. It's
like you're alive.
It's really fucking awesome.
For a little bit, I thought you were just mad at me, but this is what you are like when you're when you have energy.
You know, I work in fucking 10 hours, and I don't want to throw myself off of a fucking 12-story building.
Yeah, normally it would be 4 hours.
Yeah, well, even if it were like 24 hours, it was, so where's the glass cutter so I can cut a hole next to my desk and climb out the window? But now, I'm from home, man.
Hell yeah, you made the leap.
I'm remote. I'm excited. I mean, I worked my last, week, and it was good. I mean, it's a job, so it's bullshit, but
it's a job.
Yeah, it's not wearing me down fucking mentally yet. So
and everybody, round of applause. You're not a 1%er anymore.
Yeah, I'm out, baby.
Yeah,
I fucking did it.
All of my plans to sabotage your personal finances, I don't have to do anymore because you're gonna self-sabotage them now that you're poor like the rest of us.
And I can start smoking weed again, bro. Yeah.
Hell yeah, you've been so angry in video games.
Somehow my fucking piss came back negative, and I made it.
You made it.
So here we are.
It's crazy. This is really in it to win it, 0 to 100.
What? On this occasion, I would like to make a toast. If only I had something to drink.
Nice transition. Little did you know.
I'm back, baby.
You are. You're actually setting me up for things. I've got a mason jar here full of
Chug it. Water.
AJ's apple hooch. And I let it air out. It's been so I distilled, I juiced a bunch of apples that my sister embezzled from Smith's from me. I mean, huh?
No, that's actually the second most illegal thing that you've said in that sentence.
Yeah. So I, fermented a bunch of them in about a gallon. Don't touch the drill. Okay. In about a... Yeah, so I, fermented them for about a week. They smell delicious.
Fucking sniff. I hope that gets through.
I really hope so.
Because it reverberated, flew through the mason jar. That was great.
Oh, so...
A little...
Yeah, I did a stripping run where I just separated out. I let it go for way too long, but for that first run. But that's fine. That's why you do a stripping run in the first place.
Yeah.
And I redistilled it once because I had to order a better hydrometer. The one that I have only goes to 20%. I got one that goes all the way to 200 proof.
Ooh-wee, damn.
So I checked it.
Fucking cook your nostril hairs.
Hell yeah. So I brought the brew that I had down to about 30%, a little lower than you normally want to go.
So that I can drink it before driving back to my girlfriend's.
No, that was after the stripping run.
Oh.
Then I re-distilled it, and I got it to 80%, which is really, probably more than 80% because I put water in it initially to bring the temperature down.
I really hope that this causes both of us to just fucking puke immediately.
Yeah, just projectile.
Yeah.
Nah, so, I threw off the poison shit at the beginning. It smells like apples. Okay, smell it.
You really need to stop fucking sniffing.
It smells good. That's definitely being picked up. It's not bad.
I mean, it smells like fucking old apples and
booze.
And booze.
That's what I'm going for. So, yeah, I brought it down to 40%. And now we can see. I'll do a little half
Careful,
shot. How's that?
don't get any of it on the fucking table.
Well, yeah.
It's just gonna,
It'll make the table
burn
go
through.
blind.
Have you ever seen Breaking Bad and what happens when you put hydrochloric acid in a fucking bathtub on the second story? Jesus, AJ.
No, I've never seen Breaking Bad.
You should. You would love the fuck out of it.
I hate things
Actually,
with hype.
no. You should not watch it because then you would start cooking meth.
It's
And you
not
would
that
do it
hard.
well.
I know how to cook meth.
I know, but you would get a fucking wild hair up your ass and you'd be like, I can do this but better.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what
I
you
can do
would
that.
fucking do.
So we're gonna do. I'll toast with my left hand.
Pinky out, bitch.
Pinky out.
Let's touch
Hold on.
pinkies when
Can
we
you?
do it.
Let's bring it to a microphone. Oh God.
Here, I'll do
here.
it. I'll do it.
You come
It's
to
just
me.
weird.
Okay, here we go.
You gotta do it behind it.
Oh, that was loud.
Oh God!
All right,
damn
now
it.
drink it.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh God!
Apple acetone. You can kind of get the.
It's like fruit flavored nail polish remover.
Perfect. Hey, that's what it's supposed to be.
Not terrible.
Also,
I think
it's unaged, so
it would be like I think that aging it would probably give it better tones. I
Yeah.
don't really know much about that.
the
but
aging will get kind of that funk and kind of that afterburn. It'll kind of tone that down. But it's drinkable. I think I call
mean,
that drinkable.
That would be pretty good in like a fucking cocktail.
Sprite.
Yeah. Ah.
You want some Diet Coke?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Get the old apple flavor out. But yeah, next, for the one person who enjoys brewing and distilling here, Thomas, I'm going to do tomato paste wash. Make a nice neutral spirit, then dissolve some hard candy in it and do it moonshine style. It's going to be wonderful.
Jesus Christ. Okay, cool.
Ooh, that is in my lungs. That's delicious.
So, what you got for me today?
The Haarmann boys, which,
We're gonna have to go back and check that fucking clink.
yeah,
That shit was so
That was
loud
so
on our
loud.
end. It sounded like if you wrecked your car, but if your car was made out of glass. In my ears.
it's like
It was so
if you,
fucking-
with your glass car, hit a person with glass bones, and they hit the glass concrete.
and like the fucking like shattered glass. Have you ever seen those? Like they have it on skateboards and longboards and shit, but it's just glass filaments all over their fucking that, and them just sliding across your entire glass Tesla. You piece of shit.
Also, we got new
God.
headphones.
Yeah,
which
matching
we need to post a
headphones?
picture of it. Don't let me forget.
I will.
Matching headphones. I think they sound really good. They have like this active noise canceling that
and
helps us realize when I'm not talking into the microphone.
their pressure points colors kind of. The yellow's a little more gold.
It's fine.
The gold isn't yellowy enough, but that's okay.
It's fine. So thanks again to Thomas.
Yes.
He helped us out with that.
Appreciate that.
So, now that we've wasted enough of your time. Wait, no, we have announcements first.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure if you want to do those at the end.
We'll do them at the beginning and at the end. Okay. By the time this comes out, we're doing a giveaway.
Bada bing!
There's a link on our Twitter. There will soon, hopefully, be a link in our Instagram and on this episode. I'm going to put a link on it if I remember. So go there. We're giving away some stickers and a pin. Sign up. There are like different things you can do to like get more entries into it. So, and we're doing it internationally. So if you're not in the U.S., that's fine. Sign up.
Yeah, you can
I'll
still
ship
do it, and we'll cover your shipping costs because we thank you
Yeah.
for fucking helping us out.
And we have, we don't have a huge audience, so we chose multiple. There will be 3 winners. And then after that, we'll have some backup stock. So there will be some things down the months to if you didn't win the first time, don't give up. It'll be okay. Okay, now we can start the episode.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye out for all of it. And oh god, I just burped and it just
I kind of want to drink more.
that hurt. I mean, you can fucking go for it. It's your episode. I don't care. But
We'll see.
the giveaway is basically a way for us to give to you and for you to help us out at the same time. It's like a Dutch rudder of sorts.
Why is every metaphor turning into and comparing it to a Dutch rudder for the past 3 weeks?
And if you're new, welcome.
Yeah.
If you found us on Overcast or fucking
Castro.
Yeah, Castro. Oh no, Castro.
Podbay.
Castro's end of March.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe they're listening back.
Okay, whatever. Welcome.
Yeah.
And just in case you want a little prequel for AJ's episode today, just imagine a really lubed up Dutch rudder. Okay, take it away, man. It's
all right. Oh, good. Very good. Also, if you're new, I talk a lot about Nazis. I'm not a Nazi, which is something exactly what a Nazi would tell.
Jesus, really though.
This isn't about Nazis.
Yeah, Germany, still,
but not Nazis.
We're not getting away from it. We will someday.
No, we
Someday,
won't. Hey.
We will get AJ to do something that steps away, that
Hey,
leads
I
to a
did-
little bit of diversity.
I did Nat Arno. Oh, that's about Nazis. I did Smedley Butler. That slightly involves some Nazis.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You'll get away from it eventually.
No, I
You just-
won't. There's so much history.
You just need to find
Jesus.
any other fucking country. That's it. Any other country outside of like 1930 to 1949. That's it. That's all you need
I've
to do.
done like one or two.
Yeah.
I did.
You got it.
I did eugenics.
Diversify. Yeah,
Didn't
but
I?
yeah, but you included some shit in it.
Fuck.
You're good. We'll figure it out.
I gotta. Okay.
We'll talk about it in the next board meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The investors are getting after me.
Yeah. The investors. We should start doing that.
No.
We should do like a monthly board meeting that the patrons are invited to, and it's just a live stream.
No,
board meeting. I'm gonna do that.
I get board meeting text ideas from one of our patrons, and no offense, they're always just the worst fucking take on everything and what we should never do. So, as much as I love our patrons,
You don't get anything from the patrons.
No, I get direct text from one of them. Yeah, they're great.
Oh,
they're hilarious.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough, and
He's not insulting anybody we don't know.
I love you, and you're a fantastic person. Let's take it back. Take a couple steps back a little bit.
No, I think we should. I think, okay, I'll make a goal on Patreon, and if we get like a certain number
We'll start
of
doing
people, we'll start
board
doing
meetings.
board meetings.
We'll bring in.
I will wear a suit top.
We'll bring in the chairperson. If you subscribe to chairperson, I will do what you ask me to.
Anything.
Yeah. Luckily,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, let's get started. Let's
All
do
right.
this.
So we're going to be talking about a young German man named... Sorry, my elbow just hit the keyboard. I wanted to make sure I didn't click anything. A young German man named Fritz Haarmann.
That's a good roll.
Thank you.
That's a good offer.
His name is actually Friedrich Heinrich Karl Haarmann.
Of course it is. Most German fucking
It really
name.
is.
It's like Henry Jones.
Smith.
God.
Henry David Smith.
God, really, though.
So he was born October 25th, 1879. Oh, just after the events of last episode. Kinda.
Yeah, just across
In
the
the time
Atlantic.
period. He was born in Hanover. He was the sixth child of Joanna and Ollie Haarmann. He
Was it OLI? or is it-
Ollie.
Oh, damn it. I was hoping Oli. I was like, I love that.
That's great.
So fun.
Too good. He was the youngest child. And so Ollie actually married Joanna when she was 41, 7 years older than him, because she was very wealthy.
Hell yeah.
Off to a great start for their relationship. He was kind of a dick, if you could imagine it. He was angry. He was obviously not with Joanna because he loved her. He was very much a womanizer. He ended up getting syphilis from cheating later on.
Oh, goodness. Fritz.
No, not Fritz. Ollie.
Ollie, sorry.
Jeez.
Ollie.
He was a very authoritarian, shitty dad who had no time for his children in general.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, does that
So-
sound familiar?
So an 1880s father. Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
you.
yeah, just in general. So Fritz was a very quiet child. Being the youngest, he was much closer to his mother than his father. He didn't have any friends really. He didn't really socialize with kids outside of school, just his siblings when he had to.
Fucking shut in.
Yeah, I never played sports, but he very much enjoyed needlework, dolls, cooking, and on occasion he was found to be wearing his sister's clothing.
Fuck yeah. Treat yourself,
Like,
dude.
okay. I mean, hey, whatever works for you. He started school in 1886, and the teachers basically said, this guy's a spoiled little bitch. He got a rich mommy. He's a mommy's boy.
He's
a rich little bitch. His behavior was phenomenal, but his grades were lacking, to say the least. He had to repeat 2 years.
Oh.
Like,
Which ones?
I don't know.
It's vital.
It is vital. I think it was like 3rd and 5th grade
You're
or
lying.
something.
You don't fucking know. You have
3rd
no
was
idea.
probably one.
Super kindergarten twice is a lot worse than repeating 3rd grade and maybe 8th grade.
I don't think he was in school during 8th grade anymore. It's the 1800s. So at the age of 8, he was molested
Oh,
by a
God.
teacher. And he never really talked about it.
Well, can you blame him?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I do not blame him
Don't
for that.
fucking touch kids. It's not hard to do.
You would think, especially as a teacher.
I've been not touching children for fucking 30 years, and I'm doing great.
Yeah, and you don't see me getting any kind of recognition for it.
I don't get thank you cards. 'Cause
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't need them. Just
Exactly.
don't fucking touch children. God.
So yeah, that never really that kind of fucked him up, as it would, understandably so. At the age of 15, he ended up leaving school. This is 1894 to become a locksmith apprentice in the town over.
Okay.
Just figured, okay, this is a job. Cool. It didn't last very long.
Oh.
A couple months later, he was like, this isn't for me. And he enrolled in a military academy, because that's what all wealthy kids end up doing.
Okay. So
Going
what
to a nice
year?
school.
What year are we at now?
1894.
1894. Okay.
Yeah, because it was just a couple months as a locksmith. In the military, he was pretty good. He kind of found a stride that he was for.
Yeah.
Except about 5 months in, he started just randomly passing out. I'd like to imagine it's like the Southern Belle. I got the vapors passing
God.
out.
The sugars have gotten to me.
Lord, if I could only beat my battle with exhaustion.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, okay.
So that's how I imagined it.
Have you
but
ever passed out due to the vapors or just
No.
passing out?
I drink water. I almost did once. But,
Oh, that was because you were out in the middle of fucking nowhere and it was like 140 degrees, right?
Oh, yeah, that time too. Okay, twice.
Oh, okay. Twice.
Twice I've
Times.
almost passed out. One of them, I worked at a Boy Scout camp, and to like purify the water tank, you put in like 5 teaspoons of bleach, essentially, because it wasn't a huge tank, and then the water slowly filters in and it gets cleaned by the previous water. It's from a spring anyway. Yeah, they put in 5 gallons into a 10-gallon tank. 5 gallons of bleach.
Fucking nice.
I drank bleach. Straight. Basically halfway diluted. That's all we had, and it was hot.
Oh, yeah.
Summertime.
Yeah, I remember you
We were
talking
doing
about
hard
this. Yeah.
manual labor.
Jesus
We sent like
Christ.
6 people to the hospital for dehydration. It was bad.
God damn.
And the other time, I was hiking from Kings Peak, tallest peak in Utah, and we had 2 days of the hike left.
Mm-hmm.
So like that morning of that second to last day, we said, "Fuck it, let's just get to the cars today." We hiked 2 days worth, because it was downhill, so it helped.
Yeah.
But we still did 2 days worth. I drank 5 liters of water that day, and I ran out the last like 5 miles.
Ouch.
It's the only time I've ever hallucinated on accident.
Hey, there you go.
It was weird. I
Cool.
saw people like looking around the trees at me.
Jesus.
That was rough. That was
Get
a rough
together.
one. All right.
I've-
Sweet Tea was there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was also hallucinating.
I know. I've heard that one. I've passed out one time, and it was in a church.
I'm gonna say, is that what happened to your face?
Yeah, no, that's genetic.
Oh,
I passed out one time. It was in a church basement,
ooh, were you getting
in a
molested?
room with no windows and 2 doors. And it was because everybody at the time was like, "Oh, have you heard of the old pass out thing where you like you literally just like fucking headlock somebody and just constrict the blood and airflow to their brain?"
Nice.
And
you said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah, everyone was being a bitch, and they were like, "Oh no," they were like, "I do it, just not right now, not in the church." And I was like, "I'll do it." And so this kid fucking, just passed me out.
Was that the one where you cross your arms and put your hands to your neck and then they push on your chest and your crossed arms?
No, like they actually fucking like headlocked me and shit until I went fucking limp, yeah.
Great.
So, here we are.
Fantastic work. All right.
So now my dream is to be a famous podcaster.
Yeah. That's what started the journey.
Oh, God. Okay, so he starts passing out. It's 1894.
Yeah, and
he's a spoiled little rich boy.
Well, yeah. The doctors are like, we don't really know what's happening. It might be something related to anxiety, like something going wrong. They basically said it might be a seizure. Officially by the military, because it was in the military, a military school, it was classed as an epileptic-like seizure.
Okay.
Which they just used for they have no idea.
Yeah, really.
Because 1800s medicine peaked. He was prescribed cocaine. No, I don't know.
I was going to say, yeah.
This is the peak of medicine.
Cocaine in a radium glass jar.
That you chew as gum. And the package, the tinfoil is lead.
With asbestos in it so that it
doesn't
sparks
burn, yeah.
when you're fucking chewing it, yeah.
So he ended up discharging himself from the hospital and left school. He basically said, this is too much. I can't keep doing this. I'm going to die.
Okay.
And then he went to work in Daddy's cigar factory.
Great.
Yeah, the cigar factory was established in 1888. It comes up a couple times. Basically, it's a cigar factory. He gets to go work for Daddy and get a good, cushy gig.
Hell yeah.
As you can tell, I'm, at this point, torn on whether to feel bad for this guy or hate this guy.
To love or hate. That is the actual question.
And we will answer that question by the end of this episode.
Okay, well,
all right.
I'm excited.
So he's now, we're going to fast forward. He's 16 years old. He's been working in Daddy's factory, not really doing a lot of schooling or anything like that. Nothing really happens in his life. He just, everybody has that phase.
Yeah.
Where you just sit there, work, and that's it. I did that from 20 to 24.
Yeah. Yeah, really fucking hell.
So, in July 1896, Fritz was arrested.
Uh-oh.
Because he was caught luring boys into a cellar.
Fritz, no.
And it wasn't the first time.
No, Fritz, stop it. Oh, God. Okay.
So he was arrested, and they basically said, don't do that. There's no evidence that anything happened.
Mommy's money says we give you a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. More offenses occurred.
Fuck you, Fritz. Okay, already. I've made my decision.
Yeah. The decision's pretty set from here on out.
I've made my decision. Fuck Fritz.
Yeah, we'll put this in.
Fuck Fritz 2021. Or 2022. Jesus Christ.
23 minutes and 9 seconds. We are...
D has made the decision. You have gotten a decision.
That needs to be a musical tune to that.
Ba-da-bam. It's a reading rainbow.
Yeah.
You don't have to take my word for it.
Perfect. Yeah, so he was caught not only cellars, but also out to the forest, caught luring boys younger than him, 10 to 12 years old.
Okay, so it's not just like a one place.
It was mostly cellars.
Yeah,
that was his go-to place.
God damn it.
So, more offenses occurred, which led to him being committed to, a mental institution.
Hey, to be honest, a mental institution, in my personal opinion, is 1,000 times better than straight incarceration.
And a mental institution in the year 2000 and onward, I would agree with you.
Oh, well, yeah.
1800s mental institution, not really beneficial.
I rescind my previous comment. If you want to know how fucking bad mental institutions were, check out season 3. Whoa Nelly.
10 Days in a... Yeah.
Whoa Nelly, episode 1 and 2. Check them out.
I forgot entirely what you were going to reference. So.
I don't know what it is, but I don't remember anything except for our episode cast.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. We have like 160 episodes.
I am a Pressure Points
Super fan.
fucking encyclopedia, except for the content that's in the episode.
Yeah, you just
I
know
just
the
remember
titles,
the titles,
what they're about roughly, and the season.
Yeah, God.
Perfect. Yeah, so they're not good, but the Division of Criminal Matters, which is a great named government organization, said, yeah, let's lock him up.
That's fair.
So he's looked at by a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist says he is incurably deranged and needs to stay in this institution for the rest of his life. But he also said,
Monster, so, I mean,
you are incompetent to stand trial, which I don't agree with at all. He's competent enough to lure kids knowing it's wrong and luring them into a cellar, to hide it.
Yeah.
He obviously knows what's right and wrong. He should stand trial. But that's me.
He's
That's
crazy, but not too crazy.
Yeah, he's not detached from reality.
He's not, Jesus. Okay.
So, yeah.
Germany fucked that up.
Oh, yeah. This psychiatrist, I didn't write down the doctor's name because it was unpronounceable for me. Anybody else
was saying something, yeah.
Which is pretty
because you will take on anything and
just
butcher
about.
it. It was. It had to have been so many consonants.
There were so many, and umlauts, lots of umlauts. So after a few months in the slammer in the institution, his mother came and visited him. It's like, oh, Fritz, I'm so sorry you're in here. Like, this is horrible.
We're not.
You're 16 years old and you're stuck in an institution.
Oh, God, I forgot he was 16.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So his mom says,
he's 16. Then in that case... I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no, it's still fucking terrible. Doesn't pass is okay.
Yeah. So his mom said, I baked you this cake.
Oh,
it doesn't
God.
have any surprises in it or
There's
anything.
not a key in there, so don't eat it whole.
Somehow she helped him escape.
Oh, of course she did.
He fled to Zurich. Everything happens in Zurich, I swear. And he lived with some family members for a little bit. And then now it's 1899. A couple years have passed. And he went home to Hanover.
He's getting an itching.
He got engaged to a gal named Erna Lewert, who...
Is he just on the run at this point? What the fuck?
They're not... It's like he needs to be in the institution, but the cops aren't really. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, true. He's
not jail.
He's a rich kid. That's a good point.
And he's just a crazy, like... It must not be that bad, because he didn't go to prison.
What's he gonna do? Teach
Rape
my son a lesson? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
God. I hate like fucking just blatant disregard for like childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. 100% of the time. It's the fucking worst. But to hear these stories where it's just like cops are like, well, I mean, he's not robbing stores, he's just playing with kid dicks. You're like, still fucking worse, to be honest.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically they just didn't really care. Like, there wasn't a warrant out for his arrest.
Of course not. No, God.
They didn't... Yeah, it was like, whatever. And he only got engaged to Erna because she got pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Not great. Not a great thing to happen in his life, but he tried to step up to the plate. And in the year 1900, Fritz received a notification of compulsory military service. So they knew where he was. The military knew where he was to serve him for military service.
The fucking government knew where he was.
They didn't give a shit about what the psychiatrist said.
Oh, Lord.
So he was deployed to Colmar in Alsace. Very interesting area in history that I'm not going to get into at all. But Alsace-Lorraine and all that stuff, pretty interesting. So he immediately got the reputation of being a phenomenal soldier. He was a great marksman. He was really good at shooting people. Almost enjoyed it.
Oh no.
No, he was just really good at being a soldier. He reflected on this time and called it the best time in his life.
Oh God. Oh boy.
A year into the military, so 1901, he started to collapse during exercises. Like, marching and...
Yeah.
Not like jazzercise.
He's going faint.
So he starts passing out again. He starts getting these dizzy spells. He is hospitalized for 4 months where they're trying to figure out what the hell this is. He eventually gets dismissed and discharged for medical purposes.
Oh boy, and so it begins.
And he receives his pension in July 1902, which ends up to be, it was like $3,000 a month roughly in today's money. I think we came to that conclusion.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, not good.
I mean, he was only there for a year.
Yeah.
And he gets $3,000 a month for the rest of his life. I could live on that.
Okay. I thought it was just a fucking one-time payout.
No,
I was
no.
like, oh, okay.
I don't know if it's for the rest of his life. I shouldn't say that.
Nah,
But he gets a pension.
He's getting $3,000 a month.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Fuck. Sign me up.
Yeah, so he moved back in with Erna. He goes back to the Daddy's Cigar Factory. And he's living life until he tries to sue his father.
Oh, no.
The only person willing to really give him a job, because he couldn't work in those conditions because of the injury for which he was medically discharged. The charges were all dropped because he wasn't injured in the military. He just started passing out.
Yeah.
There wasn't an injury related to it. So, like, what the fuck? No. Why are you trying to sue your dad?
Find a different job.
Yeah, like...
What the fuck?
Like, it wasn't like...
But to be honest, the conditions were probably
they were probably trash.
Yeah.
And, like, in today's world, yeah, if the conditions are trash and you have an injury, your job needs to accommodate for you. That is federal law in the U.S.
I'm also behind bad working conditions for an escaped child molester.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Who's being hired by his father. But so he and his dad fight again later on, a couple months later, and his dad then tries to send Fritz back to the asylum by suing him, basically by saying, oh, Fritz is trying to blackmail me, and he's been verbally threatening me for months now.
Yeah, remember that wanted criminal thing? Now I'm going to bring it up. It's an issue.
Yeah. And the charges were also dropped for that. Due to no evidence. It was all just conjecture.
Jesus Christ.
But because of that, Fritz was again examined by a psychiatrist. Because they were like, oh yeah, he probably should be in that institution. Let's check him.
Shit, did we put a gun in his hands? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, did we put a gun in his hand and go shoot people? Yeah, so this psychiatrist says, while Fritz is morally inferior, but not mentally unstable. So he basically says, this guy's an asshole, but like he's
just
sane
got a
enough.
bad moral compass.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Lord.
So that kept him out of the asylum. He's now a free man. And
Jesus Christ.
you know what? He's like, I don't want to work in this cigar factory the rest of my life. I want to open my own business. I want to work hard.
That has a basement.
That has a nice big cellar.
With no windows.
With lots of little boy-sized chains.
And it's got a lot of soundproofing.
A ton. So, yeah, he's like, okay, me and my wife, me and Erna, we're going to make a fishmongery. Where they're going to sell fish.
Yeah.
We're going to start up this business. We're going to work hard. And, hey,
and
Dad.
we'll hire so many children.
Hey, Dad, you want to give me a loan? Yeah,
No
his father
fucking way.
paid to open the fishmongery.
Oh, my God.
After all the suing and shit, the dad's like, okay.
What the fuck is wrong with rich people?
It's so crazy.
Good God.
And it's not like they are bleeding rich. They're just like upper middle
they're wealthy.
class. Like slightly above upper middle class, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're not crazy rich.
Regardless, his dad
But they are
fucking
wealthy.
owns a business. Yeah, they're wealthy
Yeah,
people.
they own a cigar factory. And
Jesus Christ.
his mom has money, comes from money. So wealthy. Wealthy is a good term. In I almost skipped one. Fritz, during this time period when they opened the fishmongery, also started selling insurance. Which is something
he did.
only fucking bastards do.
Yeah, only people
I'm gonna
with...
bet on you to die.
Only people with, I don't know, bad moral compasses do.
But mentally stable.
Yeah, mentally stable but bad moral compass.
So now in 1904, the military, I don't know if this was because of something he did, like if he went to them, or if they declared it. I'm pretty sure he petitioned them. But he was deemed disabled and unable to work in 1904, which increased his pension. even though he already owned another business. To get around that, they put the business in his wife's name.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Why not?
Which immediately backfired because he accused wildly one night Erna of cheating while she was pregnant with with another child.
Well, so the thing with accusing, like someone else of cheating, and I might be spoiling something for myself, but I've always felt that if you are constantly accusing someone of cheating in your relationship, it's because you're projecting. I have always felt that. Like, if you're like, oh, this person's cheating on me, this person's cheating on me.
Like if it's like an obsessive thing.
Yeah. It's usually fucking
I think that can definitely be a part of it, or just like really bad self-image.
Yeah, I mean,
also
totally fair.
Just like, you have to be cheating on me because I'm not good enough kind of thing, or narcissistic, you're manipulating
you're
somebody.
Having sex with little boys in the basement of your new business kind of thing. You know, just little things like that I feel like would cause you to accuse someone of cheating on you while they're
just
pregnant.
something,
yeah.
You know. So, Erna says, you know what? Get off my property. Because they were at the fishmongery. And he is escorted off their property. They're still engaged at this point. I think this is their second kid. And Erna says, fuck you, get off my property. And he is escorted off.
Is it
and
all
their
in her
engagement
name?
is broken because the entire fishmongery is only in her name.
Oh, fuck yes.
So she keeps it. At this point, she steps out of the story. I don't know what happened to her after this. I assume she kept the fishmongery. And, you know, it's bad doing the single mother thing. That's really rough, especially in 1904. But owning your own business helps with that.
Okay, here's the thing. If this story ended here, I would be so satisfied. And I would be fine.
All right, let's end it.
I would
No,
be
I'm just
so fine with this as like, hey, we're just going to talk about this random fucking person and the justice that was served to this piece of shit in 1904. This is the history you come to us for.
I just absolutely love the power trip of,
Yeah.
I am not
Get
taking
off
this
my
from
fucking
you.
property.
Get off my property.
Hell
that
yeah.
kind of thing. So this is part 1 of 3. I kind of separate mine into like chapters almost. The next 2 are much shorter than this one.
Okay, I was like, bro.
The first chapter is always the longest because it's like
Yeah, set
it's the
everything
setup. I want to go into the background because it helps me like put myself in their horrible, disgusting child molester, footsteps.
Yeah, you're right.
Walk a mile in their
guess.
shoes, I guess.
You should not do that.
I agree. 1905 really kicked the shit out of Fritz.
Oh, thank
after
God.
this, because he's not working at the cigar factory. His dad's not going to let him work because he just lost all of his investment money because Erno walked off with it, essentially.
Exactly.
He doesn't have a job. He's deemed unable to work, so any like official business can't hire him. He shot himself in the foot.
Oh, God, I love it.
So, in 1905, he served a couple short prison sentences because he got into larceny, embezzlement, assault. He was a thief, a burglar, tried to do the con man thing. He would get, like, legitimate jobs, and then he would embezzle money from those jobs. Or, like,
Dumbass.
commit fraud and do anything he could to get money. He claimed during this time period to have just robbed a couple graves. It's fine.
Is this the backstory of my fucking girlfriend's roommate?
Yes. And most of 1905 through 1912, he was in and out of jail. When he was out of jail, he was committing crimes until he went back into jail. And they were all short-term sentences. 1913 comes around. He's had a rough couple of years. I realized I didn't show you a picture of this guy. I was going to make a whole joke about how I'm not talking about Adolf Hitler. Here's a picture of him. I swear, that's not Adolf Hitler.
God, yeah, it's just
But he's got
Hitler
the
with a fucking hat.
Yeah, he's got the toothbrush, little mustache, and it's like, you know, it's old black and white photo. He's going to be the image for this episode. It's kind of close.
It's Hitler with a mat or with a hat.
Yeah, if he like gained a little bit more weight.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's phenomenal. There's actually a lot of pictures of this guy compared to most of the people we talk about, because this was one of the biggest, like, this was really big in the media during the time period, was this guy. So yeah, in 1913, he was arrested for burglary. And most of the time when he was arrested for burglary, it was like, okay, come down to the courthouse, we're going to sentence you, okay, you're going off for a couple years. This time, I guess it was big enough, or he messed with the wrong person, and the police actually searched his home.
Uh-oh.
In the home, they found a lot of evidence of other burglaries. Like,
Uh-oh.
because during this time period, your tailor would, like, put your name in your tags of all your clothing.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff was able to be traced out. So they basically figured out, oh no, this dude's stolen a lot of shit. We're gonna put him in for 5 years.
Homeboy done fucked up.
He fucked up. So he was in for 5 years. He was set to get out in 1918. World War I happens, and basically he was allowed to walk out of the prison in the morning as long as he came back at night and do whatever he wanted during the day, as long as he was working for the war effort.
Oh my God. Good
So
Lord.
he basically, the last, like, 2.5 years of his sentence, almost half of his sentence, he was basically free, and he was just given a place to rent and free food. Or a place rent-free.
Jesus.
Which is phenomenal.
Good Lord.
And, World War I ends, people are in a bad spot. Like, financially, economically. A lot of people have just died. Everything's adjusting to that. You got the Spanish flu ravaging everywhere. And during this time period, he learned how to network in prison. He created this huge network of, like, criminal contacts related to the police station and the nearby train station. Those were his places. Because in 1919, he's already bad enough. What do you think he could possibly do to make this worse?
In 1919.
Without going to jail or prison, or needing to.
He starts murdering people.
Well, that would send him to jail or prison.
Oh, that wouldn't send him to jail or prison. He starts fucking... Oh, God. What would be bad? He starts working for fucking Henry Ford.
Close! He starts working for the police.
Oh, God.
He becomes an informant. It gets to the point where although they know of his history, his previous offenses, his mental health problems, and a couple other things that we're going to talk about later that have happened, but I've gone past them. They know a lot about his history and who he is and how terrible he is, but they also know he's got a lot of connections, and he brings in results. One thing that he would do is that he would, like, go to a fence. He was really good with fences. Mm-hmm. So people you would sell stolen goods to. You can't just go sell it to a store. So he would tell the fence, hey, you can store stuff in my apartment. Like, store some of your contraband. The idea being you store it for a while.
Yeah.
That's what the fence does. And then it's no longer considered like a hot item. It's not being looked for. And then you can sell it a lot easier. So he would go to a fence and say, hey, if you want to store $5,000 worth of stolen shit in my apartment, go ahead. I'll get a cut.
Yeah.
And then he'd set up a date and time. And then during that exchange, when the guy's bringing shit in, the cops would come, and then they would arrest both of them, and he would be brought out in cuffs too to keep his cover, and then he would get out.
He's just running fucking sting operations.
Yeah, so he would run the sting operations as a way to distract them from all of his criminal activity. He was in the meat contraband business, obviously stolen goods and items. He was in a lot of smuggling.
Okay.
Or a bit of smuggling. Probably not a lot. But yeah, one of the larger ones was clothing and meat. Contraband. So, yeah, the entire idea was, I'm going to tell the cops about all these guys, and they're going to leave me alone. They're going to look the other way a little bit more.
Jesus Christ.
And I can specifically tell them where and when to look, so I know when the eyes will be off of me.
Okay. Piece of shit.
Honestly, piece of shit, smart.
Yeah, he is. Unfortunately, he is
smart on that. Yeah, and he gained their trust to the point where, like, in the beginning, they would sometimes they would trail him with, like, undercover cops. Within a couple of months, they brought him so much success that they stopped following him. They just said, okay, whatever. He got to walk around the police station pretty much anywhere, unattended.
Oh, my God.
His main place was that it was like a train station, and that's where he would find all sorts of people, like selling shit, stealing shit and trying to get it sold.
Jesus, of course.
Sex workers, all that stuff.
God damn.
So in June 22nd, 1924, so we're fast forwarding 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's still an informant and all that stuff. He was seen arguing with a 15-year-old named Carl Frum by two undercover cops. One of the bigger things that he was starting to get into in the 20s and on was stopping people who were traveling on forged documents. He was really good at picking out, oh, this is fake, and then I'm going to go tell it to one of the undercover cops who are at this, train station, because they always had him there looking for that, but he was just better at it.
Yeah, because he was selling fake documents.
Exactly.
On the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So he basically approaches the cops and says, hey, Carl, he's traveling with false documents. He's saying all sorts of lies and anything he can to get out of this. Take him away. So he goes back to his apartment. They take away Carl. Carl gets to the station and says, hey, Haarmann has been raping me for the past 4 days in his apartment.
Fuck.
He's been, at knife point, assaulting me for 4 days.
Oh, shit.
And the cops say, fuck this guy, and they raid his apartment.
They raid Haarmann's.
Haarmann's. Yeah, Fritz's.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So they go in, and they find blood coating the floors, the ceiling, his bed. And he says, oh, no, that's from all the meat trading that you guys know I do. That's just from the butchery. I got it up on the walls and in my bed.
And of course, in the 1920s, somebody just takes a flake off and goes,
that's human.
that's beef.
Yeah, I've tasted that before. That's a nice pork.
Medium rare.
So
grass-fed.
Then they arrested him for, at the very minimum, sexual assault. They start talking to the neighbors, and the neighbors are saying, wow, there are quite a few, 10 to 15-year-old boys coming in and out of his apartment at all hours. That's so weird.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if he's doing some kind of youth outreach.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Two neighbors who knew each other, they were friends, stated that fairly recently they had actually followed him leave his apartment in the middle of the night because he was a criminal and doing weird things. He would go at all hours, and they were just curious. What the fuck else are you going to do in 1924?
Really, though.
So they followed him to the river that cuts through the town, and he dumped 2 bags of burlap sack something in the river.
Oh, shit.
And okay, it was weird, but it wasn't weird enough, because we know he's a criminal. We know he kind of does this shit. They also found, because he was a smuggler and kind of a burglar, they found a ton of clothing and accessories, shoes and wallets and stuff like that.
And it was all youth-sized.
A surprising amount was. So they take it, the cops take it, they put it out in their, their entryway and say, come one, come all. Does anybody recognize this shit?
Oh, no.
And townsfolk start showing up and saying, hey, my cousin who ran away 2 years ago, that's his wallet.
Fuck.
Hey, that's my son's suit jacket. He disappeared 5 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I recognize that. And they just kept coming in as belonging to people who ran away or disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And his excuse was, well, I deal in stolen goods. If these guys were running away trying to make money, they would have sold the clothing and I would have gotten it eventually.
Yeah, except that everyone's yeah, my 11-year-old brother, that's his shirt. Oh, this is my 14-year-old cousin's suit jacket. Oh, these are the pants that my best friend who's 14 used to wear. And all of these people went missing.
Weird.
How odd.
Yeah. So things aren't looking good for Haarmann. We're going to go back in time. We're going to do that thing that I hate where you go back in time.
I think it's a great fucking storytelling tactic.
I know you do. So I did it for you.
Thank you.
Mostly because I didn't know how long and deep this was going to go.
It usually goes long and deep when you do an episode, so it's all good.
Sorry.
It's all good.
So 1918.
Just as long as we aren't hitting like an hour and a half. I gotta go to sleep at some point.
We'll see. I'll go through this. We are pretty close. So 1918, if you remember, this is the time period where...
He got kicked out, right?
Yeah, after he got kicked out. 1918 is when he got out of prison for the 5-year sentence for the big burglary.
Yeah.
Oh, I scrolled too far. Okay. Let's talk about his MO. Because it is very obvious something is happening to all of these young boys for the past couple decades, maybe.
Yeah.
So his MO is 10 to 22-year-old boys, usually mid-teens, so 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
He would pull a Ted Bundy and say, "Oh, I need help," or he'd pull
I'm disabled.
a John Wayne
God,
Gacy
yeah.
and say, "Oh, I come do some construction for me," or he would say, "I'm a police informant and you are a sex worker. I can turn you in right now. Come to my house." And then he would, at some point, after giving them a nice dinner, usually probably not that nice.
Just gotta fill him up before he fills him up.
Ugh, don't ever say that again. He would start strangling them, and then he pulled his signature move where he's strangling them, and he kind of pulls them back, and he takes a big old bite of their Adam's apple.
Oh!
Like an apple, like crunch.
Ah!
And
I really don't like that we had your fucking apple moonshine now.
Yeah, right?
Fuck you.
So it goes crunch, and it would go all the way through the trachea.
Ay, ay, ay.
And he said it would happen in
AJ's apple moonshine. It'll spice up your trachea.
Yeah. Total coincidence, I swear.
Oh, God.
He would call it his love bite. Because he said he never intended to ever kill anybody. This was just the throes of passion, as one does.
Okay. I'm not gonna fucking shoot out people that I've hooked up with. Never in my fucking life have I just taken a bite out of somebody's trachea.
Yeah, it doesn't sound pleasant.
No, and it like
The texture seems interesting, but I would never do it.
it's also like, bro, that's not a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Like, this is a crime of like fucking just violence. Yeah. Just straight murder, not you're fucked up.
Yeah. So
Fritz.
sometimes he would, sexually assault them before the choking. Sometimes it was after the biting.
Actually, you know what? The Fritz name, not so funny anymore.
Yeah,
not so
good.
entertaining. I don't like it.
So then he would. I don't want to get into. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail.
Yeah, you good. Go for it.
So if you do not like detail about murder specifically, maybe skip ahead just like 30 seconds, a minute, maybe a minute. So now it's on to dismemberment. And his typical thing was he's going to cut open their gut, take out their intestines, throw it into a bucket, flush it down the toilet.
That'll fuck up your piping.
Yeah. Throw some cloth in there to suck up the blood.
And your plumbing.
And then he would cut kind of up by the collarbone, get the heart and lungs out. Boom, pop those into the bucket, chop them up, flush them down the toilet.
Okay, so he's just doing like a really bad autopsy.
Yeah, and then you got an empty core, and he would like push on the shoulders until they crumpled and broke.
Okay.
And then he would
He's doing the Hasbro fucking autopsy.
chop them up and flay the skin off. Flush the skin, chop it up and flush it. So now there's just like meat and bones, and he would just chop them up, toss them in the river. In general, some of the time, not all the time, he'd also, when they cut off their head, put it in a burlap sack and smash it into dust.
Ugh.
Well, he wanted to expose the brain. He for some reason kept mentioning how much he wanted to see the brain when he was doing it, but he didn't do that every time. So that's super fun. I went through it fast because I know that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. I think it's super interesting.
It's fucked up, but like, holy shit.
It's really fucked up.
And then imagine not fucking cleaning up your workstation.
Right? That is the real issue here.
Just, like,
That is the real
you're
problem.
fucking deranged. I get it. But like, just Jesus. He's like, okay, I'll get rid of the body. I'll get rid of like the evidence, whatever. And then he's like, maybe I'll just paint my walls with this. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
There's also some reports, so he kept some, after he tossed the rest of the bits into the river, besides his first victim, who was buried, he kept trophies,
of course,
articles of clothing, things like that. The rest of the clothing he would sell to his neighbors or through his network. In fact, I think it was his second victim, his landlady was in possession of the clothing of his second victim.
Can you imagine how fucking pissed you would be if you were
Dude,
his
I would be
landlady?
horribly upset.
You're like, how the fuck am I supposed to get this place
I'm not even talking
clean?
about that, just with the clothing.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
too.
true, yeah. Oh my God.
There is also some conjecture, no real evidence of this, that he may have sold some of his victims' meat.
Oh,
because he was in the meat
packing
business
industry.
He had a lot of neighbors who said he would go into his apartment and then come out with meat, but not really go in with any, and we don't know where he's getting it. He also said his butcher contact, was some dude who didn't exist, which, obviously you would say that about your contact. You would
because you just fucking dismembered him.
Yeah, that too. So there is some the thought that
you're just like a regular
have.
customer, and you're like, yo, listen, Fritz, that cop that we know, I don't know where the fuck he gets it, but he makes the best German steaks.
Let's get into that. We're going to talk about sausage. After pork. He sold one of his neighbors a bit of pork because it was hard to come by. So pretty much just a ton of people were, if they knew somebody in the meat contraband business, they were into it. And she said one time she got some pork from him. She was like boiling it and cooking it, and she skimmed the fat off and put it into a jar, and the fat was not really pork fat. Like it didn't look right, didn't smell right, didn't taste right.
It smelled like that nice boy that used to live down the street.
And then there was a family who
would be more like buttery, wouldn't it? Like, I don't really know how to explain it.
I don't know. Chuck roast. I've heard it's chuck roast.
I don't fucking know.
But
still gross.
It depends if it's American or anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right.
So, chuck roast. There was a family who got some German sausages from them, and sheep intestine. That was the casing, according to Haarmann. They all got violently ill, but that could have been just from eating really bad, poorly temperature-controlled contraband meat. But they like to imagine it's human.
I like to imagine it. I don't like to.
Yeah.
But it's human.
It's probably. I would not be surprised because of the lengths this guy went to sell some of his contraband shit. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Even if he just most of the meat that he sold was ground. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he just added a little bit, top it off. It's like a cocaine dealer putting baby laxative into your cocaine.
Only, with humans.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about his first victim, who was 17 years old, Friedel Roth. In fact, many of his victims are named. I suggest going to the Wikipedia page if you want to learn about the specific instances around everybody. I'm only going to really talk about this guy, because there are a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
A thing that should have been on his MO when I was laying that out is he was very often the last person seen with these boys.
God.
What? The cops said, oh, well, he was a criminal and he was working with this criminal network, and he was often seen with these criminals and these boys who were running away or, working the streets or whatever it was. It's fine. He wasn't doing anything with them. Of course he would be seen with them. He was the forged documents guy. How else are they going to get out of town?
Jesus
Christ. These cops fucking sucked.
Well, you said the C word, so
yeah, exactly.
We can expect to know why they suck.
So yeah, the police actually raided Haarmann's apartment after he was last seen with Friedel. Because the family was like, come on, he was the last one. Just go check.
Yeah.
Just go check. Why do we have to plead with you?
Yeah.
To go look at the apartment of the last adult male, last person who has a history
Yeah.
of
With
fucking around with kids,
who has a criminal history.
Yeah. Why do we have to beg? And they finally convinced him to do it. They raided the apartment, and they find Fritz with not Friedel, the 17-year-old, but with an unnamed 13-year-old boy who is not wearing a shirt.
And just swept that shit right under the rug.
They actually charge him with sexual assault. I think he gets like 9 months.
What year was this?
I don't remember. Earlier, 1900s.
A few years before.
Why didn't I put this down?
Whatever the fuck happened. Well, a few years before they raided his place a second time.
I think this was 1918.
Oh, okay.
It might have been earlier than that. Jesus. That's an important detail that I didn't put down. The idea is that he's basically been doing this since he was 16.
Jesus.
At the earliest that we know of. Interestingly enough, although he was charged for the sexual assault with that 13-year-old boy, Fritz later mentioned that Friedel's head was behind the stove at the time because he hadn't gotten rid of it yet. The cops didn't look.
What the fuck?
The cops said, "Oh my God, he's with a current victim. Scoop him up," and then they left. They didn't even look.
Bag that up. God.
So then we're going to talk about Hans Kranz.
I'm not laughing at names.
You should not
anymore. I'm done.
Hans was a runaway at the age of 18 in the age period. He intended to get Fritz to pay him for sex out of desperation. He always claimed himself that he wasn't gay, he wasn't homosexual at all. He was desperate, he was a runaway, and he knew through his criminal contacts that Fritz liked the boys. So he was like, okay, I can take advantage of this situation. Hans became Fritz's lover / acquaintance fairly quickly. Fritz immediately fell for Hans. He was smitten. While at the same time, Hans knew that and was very desperate, manipulative, obviously had some things going on with his own mental health. And it was like very on and off again kind of thing, but not really. Just like Fritz would yell and scream and do something, and then Hans would leave, and then Hans would come back 30 minutes later and like, oh, I'm so sorry, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Hans was actually allowed a female lover.
Oh, wow, how nice of him.
How nice of Fritz. As long as they kept sleeping together.
God. As long as he keep just softly biting on his Adam's apple.
Exactly.
It's my fetish. No, you're a fucking weirdo.
So at this point, Fritz serves the 9 months for that earlier 13-year-old kid. And they moved. He gets out, and him and Hans move in together. They get a new apartment, new life, fresh start. Where he continues to rape and murder 27 young boys.
Okay.
At a minimum.
Where the fuck is Hans?
Hans is the first victim that Hans was around for. Hans walked in on Fritz at the beginning of the dismembering part of the process and says, it looks like this one's one of yours, and then leaves.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at that point, there's one point where Fritz has a boy in the apartment, and Hans is there with his female lover and one of her friends, who are all just star citizens.
Well, I mean, this place is covered in blood at this point, is it not?
Probably not.
Oh.
I don't know. But Fritz says something to the effect of, he's getting trampled tonight. As like ooh, we're gonna fuck. But that was the signal of, you gotta get these girls out of here because I'm gonna murder this dude.
Oh, Jesus.
So he became an accomplice.
Yeah.
He didn't, as far as I was able to find, he didn't directly help murder, but he definitely helped with the entire process.
Yeah.
In fact, one time they were witnessed that Hans was pointing to a young boy And then they went into a diner with the young boy, and that was the last time that young boy was ever found.
Jesus.
And Hans started wearing a suit that was very similar to that little boy's afterwards.
So weird.
So he would choose victims for
their clothing.
for Fritz.
Jesus Christ.
He would say, "Oh, yeah, that's a nice watch,"
Oh my God.
and that would start the conversation, and then they'd bring him back to the apartment. Yeah, horrible shit. Let's see. I already went over that. So at this point, we've talked about how he got scooped up in 1924.
Mm-hmm.
This dude could have just come clean and said everything because he was already ham, egg, and cheese boned.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he's getting out of this. But he only ever admitted to the rape and murder of the kids who had evidence.
Oh, yeah.
Who they had evidence for. But at the same time, he would also say, "Oh, I actually killed something between 50 and 70.
Jesus.
They only had evidence of about 27.
Mm-hmm.
He also said a couple things like, I murdered some other ones, but you'd never connect them.
Jesus Christ.
Implying that, I did something different with these ones. It didn't fit the MO.
You'll never
they were
find
only
them
looking
kind of
at
thing.
this specific thing where, this specific
Age group
MO.
from this area.
Yeah, from this area, chopped up and tossed into the river. Oh, yeah, and over the past 5 years, this town actually got a reputation, probably 10 years, got a reputation for how many young boys were going missing.
God, of
And
course.
how many skulls kids found in the river.
Oh, my God.
So many.
Yeah.
There was even one point where the townsfolk were so pissed at the cops, before he was found, they were so pissed at the cops, they personally dredged the river on their own and found 500 body parts, adding up to about roughly 24 whole people.
Jesus.
Just civilians.
God. Good Lord.
Yeah, so these guys sucked. He was evaluated by a psychiatrist.
Oh, again. Yay.
And also Hans was arrested. Thank goodness.
Thank God.
And he was found competent for trial. Thank goodness.
Yes, nice.
He decided to defend himself, which is
he
the best
Ted Bundy'd
thing.
that shit.
He did. At this point, this was the biggest, media event
Yeah,
since
big one.
World War One. So there's a ton of pictures of his apartment. He actually had 3 apartments. His, him being escorted in and out of the courtrooms during the second week, I think, of the trial. It was second or third. They actually let in just anybody, civilians, townsfolk, whatever, to come talk and testify. 190 people testified in this case.
Fucking hell. Oh my God.
And he was known as the Butcher of Hanover, the Vampire of Hanover, or the Wolfman, because the neck thing got out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I hand wrote my notes, just trying it, and I forgot what this was, but it makes sense. Yeah, then the neighbors said all sorts of things like the meat he sold me was really weird. He walked in with a boy the night before, and the kid must have snuck out in the middle of the night, because in the morning he just came out with ground beef.
Oh, Jesus.
Horrible shit. And he was very often the last person seen with a lot of the victims as they ran away. It was kind of that runaway boy cried wolf kind of thing where it's, oh, they're just a runaway, they're just a delinquent. It's like the Satanic Panic. Oh, they're Satanists, it's whatever. Oh, that's a troubled boy, he just ran away. He's probably fine living with family in another town.
Jesus, I fucking hate that concept.
Hate the throwaway attitude.
It's such a devaluation of human life.
Exactly. Get it? Devaluation
It's another
of
one.
human life?
That is the decision I just made. It's a devaluation.
Yeah, so cops have always been horrible, it turns out.
God damn.
So Fritz and Hans were sentenced to death by guillotine.
Oh, hell yeah.
For everything there.
Fuck yeah.
Fritz, part of the process of this time is...
Add to the skull problem. Let's do it.
They wouldn't tell you when your sentence was up, when you were going to go get killed.
Fucking chopped. Yeah.
Until the night before.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I guess the idea was, if you don't tell them when it's coming, they're not gonna like get so anxious that they start doing crazy shit or try to escape or whatever.
Well, yeah, if you have them around other prisoners and they know that they've got a death sentence.
Yeah, what do they have to lose?
Yeah. It's a fucking terrible,
That's
approach.
probably the darkest deja vu I've ever had. That was fucking weird.
Jesus.
Okay. So Fritz, the night before his execution, the executioner went in there and said, "Your time's tomorrow. What are your last wishes?" He gets an expensive cigar and a nice hot cup of Brazilian coffee. Something about Germans, South America. There's some connection there.
No.
And he is brought out. Public is not allowed to observe this. There are very few witnesses. And he is executed. He says some bullshit about, I repent, I'm not afraid of death.
Yeah, okay.
And all that bullshit that people do.
Yeah.
He started off by saying, "I am afraid of death, but I'm going to face it like a man, and then I repent and I'm not afraid of death."
What?
Yeah, he was
That's
fucking
not how that
idiot.
works, buddy.
Now, Hans, on the other hand, see, on Fritz's, dying night, he wrote a letter to Hans's father that said, "Hans he wasn't as involved as I said he was because I was mad and scared at the trial, and he didn't do all this stuff, so you as a family member shouldn't feel bad. It was all me, that kind of thing." And somebody got that letter as evidence, and Hans was allowed a retrial.
Oh, God.
And they knocked him down from death sentence to 24 years.
Okay.
Which is not enough, I don't think, at all.
No, God, no.
He was, he did his first, it was 2 consecutive 12 years. So he did his first 12 years, and sometime into his sentence, he was sent to Sachsenhausen, the concentration camp. As World War II started, his crimes were bad enough that they were like, "Yeah, you can go to a concentration camp, and we'll use you for labor." So thank goodness, this is the only time I'm okay with somebody being sent to a concentration camp. Is this horrible person? And he survived after the war. He was released, and he died in Hanover in 1975, his old stomping grounds.
I thought we would get away from it, AJ. I thought we would get away from the connection.
You thought. That's your problem. You were always thinking.
Damn it.
So yeah, that's the Butcher of Hanover, or the Haarmann Boys, which is a much worse name now that you know about it.
Great.
And I'm so sorry to everybody who had to go through this with us, but
nothing like a long episode of just absolute, just
horrible,
god-awful shit.
The most darkest, most horrendous bullshit.
Oh, but
that exists.
Hey, at least we got the true crime episode out of the way.
Out of the way. You've been tricked. No, I did the true crime.
I did not get tricked. Once the murder thing came up, I was like, okay, cool, yeah. This is season 5's one true crime episode that you'll get from us.
One per quarter, yeah.
No.
So yeah, check out our giveaway.
Yeah, keep an eye on the giveaway.
Oh,
it has the details in there, right?
Yeah. They're just go through it. It's really straightforward. Yeah. Also, if you're new or not, I would really appreciate it if you reviewed us on whatever app you were. A lot of people. I am very much a victim of this. I will listen to a podcast or something, or watch a YouTube channel, and I won't subscribe for a year. Mm-hmm. Just go click the button, please.
Yeah.
It would make me feel good on the inside.
Give us a review.
Tell your friends if you want to.
They help out fucking crazy.
Yeah, if you know anybody who you think would like it, send them a link or something.
Exactly.
Reconnect with your ex by sending a link of our podcast to them. Don't do that.
No, do it. Go for it. Fuck
Actually, do it.
Yeah. If it's healthy.
If it's healthy. Yeah. If it was a healthy breakup.
Yeah.
As healthy as they can be.
But yeah. You got the patrons.
Oh, yeah. I should probably do that, huh? Of course, the chairperson of the PP, Mini D Donnell, thank you. Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Lindo, D's Nuts,
Not
Nordic Thunder, Toddle Waddle, Dark Runner, Haley, and Casey McFacey. Thank you guys so much. You let us do the things like doing this giveaway, doing a little advertising, hosting our entire podcast.
Yeah, really, though. Also, keep an eye on your messages in the next couple weeks. Make sure all of your info is updated on there.
Yeah, in Patreon.
Just a heads up.
I know you guys have your addresses in there. Make sure they're up to date. Make sure your name is... your name is cool with whatever. Might get an email from us. We'll let you know, though. Like, if we're going to send you an email or send you a message on there, we'll let you know on the podcast. But just, keep an eye out. There's things coming, and I know I say that a lot, and you guys don't a lot of see.
We never really set a time frame on it, so there are things coming.
Yeah.
It's just...
We don't know how long.
Yeah, I'm not going to guarantee it's like this week.
Yeah, especially because I just realized I think I have a clinical this week.
Hey, you're good.
Fuck.
No worries.
It'll be good. It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun.
Huge thank you to you guys. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. So, as usual, find us on Instagram and Twitter at PointsOPressure if you have any suggestions for anything at all, or if you need somebody to talk to, or if you have any questions or feedback or whatever.
Yeah, and if your feedback is this episode was way too dark and horrible, at least I didn't talk about Albert Fish again.
Yeah, that is a wonderful fucking approach. But yeah, your feedback is we appreciate it. If you have questions on anything, always reach out. We're happy to chat with you guys. We'll catch you next week.